Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I see Spaintown General joined early. And what is he saying? He's saying, if you want to know McClaren do this so bad, tell him you need to see his contract. I don't talk to McClaren. Spaintown, I don't talk to McClaren. We don't have that kind of relationship. And I doubt, given my what I've been talking about, if we'll ever have that kind of relationship. Actually, I don't see that happening. So I don't think. Bless up Nitro, bless up Duras. Yeah, Spaintown. I think that one is for the birds. Not happening. Not gonna have that relationship at all. But I have a few things to talk about this evening. Well, more than a few. And I have a problem. People, I have to shut this down for 2 seconds. I lost something I'm supposed to have with me. Give me 1 minute, people. Give me 1 minute. This is not bad. Bless up, float. Give me 1 minute, people. I'm not sure what happened here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some music in the meantime. Play some music in the meantime. As an interlude, I come back. I left an item, which I have to go get. So I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, people, but I had something and I misplaced it, which I need for this program. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about. So Triple E say, bless Kranky in listening mode as I get ready for kids team. So Triple E, I suppose that you're a coach, actually. I suppose you're a coach and you coach a team. Am I going to the game in St. Louis? I don't know. Good question, actually. I have to figure that one out. I'm supposed to be, I have an event in Georgia I have to go to, which conflicts, actually. And I knew that was going to be the case. That's why I'm not going to Jamaica or St. Louis, actually. I have an event that conflicts, so that may preclude me from going. Yeah, so I'm just going to make it. Yeah, but it'd be good to go to those games, even though my hope is that we would have gotten Greenwood by then, but doesn't look like that's going to happen, which is unfortunate, actually. Because I do think against the US, we need all hands on deck. All hands on deck. So that's not good. So give me 1 second, people. Let me just do this. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we're gonna need all hands on deck, and Greenwood would come in real handy at this point, actually. But that may not happen. That would probably not happen, actually, given what I know. Unless the certain people in certain positions decide to make certain decisions, that's not going to happen. So we have to go with what we have. But at least we got Isaac Hayden coming, even though some people are critiquing whether or not he's playing football. It's probably better than what we have. But I don't want to start off with Jamaica football because I have a lot to talk about the coach. I have a lot to talk about Greenwood. And I also want to just go through my normal routine, which is talking some Champions League, talking some NBA. Yes, last night was not a good night. I had to shut down my stream halfway through it at halftime. But then get into the whole Greenwood discussion and then the coach discussion. So let me jump into that and then we'll do that. Bless up, man of God. Bless up, Antonio. Stefan Wright. Hit song. Which one of the hit song? Is it Possession or Kranky Live? Which one of the hit song? Don't know which one of the hit song. Even though I think Kranky Live are the hit song from where I sit anyway. Not Possession football. Because bless up before the game. The other day we played possession football and it probably was the worst possession football I've ever seen because we had the keeper made no save even when we had 62% possession. Nothing about Ravel. Now, you know the worst thing about this role, people, the job that I do? Sometimes you get information you can't disclose. You just can't disclose because people have you in their confidence. But you know when somebody tells you something but you really want to disclose it? It's like burning you, but you can't disclose it. It's really bad. So that's all I'll say about certain things. All right? That's all I'll say about certain things. But yeah, so nothing meaningful on Ravel. Man of God, nothing meaningful on Ravel. But sometimes you get information that you just really want to disclose, but you just can't disclose. And that's what people call confidentiality. You should be able to keep what we call a secret. It's important. So let me go through my normal. Let me just start Knicks first and Lakers first, and then I'll jump into Champions League, and then I'll go to what you guys want to talk about because you guys don't really care about that, but I care about it. Then we can talk about Mason Greenwood, and we talk about the coach. I'm gonna save the coach for last. I think that's the best of the lot. So last night, the revised Knicks played against the Boston Celtics. And a few people were on with me. I think we had probably between 18 and 20 people, even though over last time I checked, over 200 people watched or viewed the stream. And I was very enthused, very encouraged coming into the whole the season because I thought, you know what, we're going to do well. We have a good team. Leon Rose made a lot of good decisions, brought in Bridges and Anunoby last year. We have some injuries with Robinson out, Acho out. But we have Bridges, we have Anunoby, we have Brunson, and we have Towns we brought in for Randall and DiVincenzo. And boy, last night we got smashed. The Celtics hit 29 threes, which tied the NBA record. And frankly, if they kept their starters in, they probably would have shattered the record. And it was interesting because I don't think I've ever seen anybody shoot threes like that. I know the record is 29, but wow. And we supposedly brought in Anunoby and Bridges to bridge the gap defensively with the two wing players, Brown and Tatum. It looked like Tatum had something to prove because he just annihilated us yesterday. So not a good look. Hey, people, as you come and hit the like button, 25 and 48 don't work. Those numbers don't lie. Not a good look. Not a good look for the Knicks. Last night, the Lakers played against Minnesota, who had Randall and DiVincenzo. Lakers won the game. I did watch both games, but I was in and out on the Lakers game, and I lost interest in the Knicks game come halftime because we were down by a big number. I think for us, our problem is going to be, Towns seemed a little bit immobile last night playing against the Celtics. Can't match up with them out in the perimeter, which makes it difficult. And then Bridges was awful in the first half. He couldn't hit the barn door. Got better in the second half when the game didn't matter. Brunson can't do it all by himself. McBride came in and was brilliant, actually. So we got to find a way to change that dynamics where, and I think we're going to be okay this season. We're gonna be okay. I think next time we play the Celtics, it'll be a different game, but they look like they're the best team again in the NBA. Bless up, Tycoon. Thanks for joining. They look like the best team in the NBA. So, but last night with the Lakers and Bronny, what are you guys' thoughts on this? So Bronny was an McDonald's All-American, and my understanding is he was the first McDonald's. He averaged 14 points a game in high school, and he had the lowest average of any player in McDonald's All-American history. And the thing was, people were saying that him making the team was based on LeBron's influence. And now we see him playing for the Lakers when he was the 50-something pick. in the second round, getting more money than any second round, like first round, or any second round pick ever. Played 3 minutes last night. And that's the epitome of nepotism, frankly. Now, everybody understand the whole concept of, yes, it's his son, he plays with his son, it's a blah, blah, blah. But I thought we made teams based on meritocracy, except if you from Jamaica and you're locally born, and we have to have the quota system. But at least they're clear with their quota system, right? They're clear with their quota system. In Jamaica, you don't necessarily need meritocracy to get in the team. If you're a citizen, if you're born in Jamaica and you're a good player and you're close to the national team, you can get in because that's how it works. JFF has their stakeholders. Stakeholders want local players in the team. So even the local players who may not be good enough, they're going to get in sometimes. They're close to the team because they have their person there supporting them. But with the Lakers and with Bronny, he shouldn't be close to that team. He should be in the G League. He averaged 3 points a game in college. Like, that's unbelievable. And he's in the NBA. So it does tell you it's not all meritocracy sometimes, in some cases. This is a unique one, though. I've never seen this before. Right? And maybe they want to keep LeBron motivated. But, man, that's a hard pill to swallow. If you're one of the players sitting there on the bench, at the end of the bench, can't get 5 minutes because Bronny took your 3 minutes. But it is what it is. So that's out of the way now. So maybe they can go play basketball and Bronny can go to the G League and go back to normal. Yeah, it's a perfect example, Ross. Hey, that's perfect, Ross. It's like, oh, yeah, he got his wish. But his dad got his wish. Probably more his dad than Bronny himself. Doesn't mean the kid can't play. I think he scored 17 points in a preseason game, but he scored it against, people are saying against the first team. No, he scored those points against scrubs. Well, not scrubs, but players who are not part of the first team. I don't call any NBA player a scrub because if you're in the NBA, you're a good player, period. But there's levels to that. Well, Kranky, folks for years, no issue with me with Brown doing it. Not for those of a certain persuasion. For some of that persuasion, so for example, if you know the certain teams, like Utah, for example, they always stack with players of a certain persuasion, right? Just saying. But in some teams, it's not like that. Now, are they good enough to make Utah team? I'd assume that they are. But somehow some teams always find certain people of certain persuasion on their team, which is interesting. But in the NBA, it's normally meritocracy. As you can see, with the NBA being, about 70-something% African-American, probably less now because a lot of European are coming in. But yeah. Yeah, he should be in the G League. Yeah, Joe Ross. Well, no, Joe Ross. I'm saying the special talent they get the special treatment, not a proxy, right? You can't extend that treatment up and above the person who is in that situation. His proxy, or his son, or I call his proxy, is now getting the treatment, not just him, which I find really interesting, actually. But it's interesting. Big up Conrad, Stefan, J. Ross. Oh, no, and thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. It's really interesting that that is being extended out to the son. The father gets special treatment, which happens with most superstars in most industries. I keep saying this 101 times, which is, it's not just basketball. It's not just NFL. I was just at a program the other day where one of the guys who played for the Giants, what was his name? He's now on Fox 5 on Fox. Michael Strahan was saying when they had team meetings and they play NFL football, Lawrence Taylor would come to the meetings and be sleeping throughout the entire meeting. And when the meeting was over, they would go to him and say, oh, the coaches would go to him, almost stuttering and say, oh, we're thinking about doing this blitz package. What your thoughts are? And he's sitting there thinking, that, slept through the entire meeting. He ain't even getting chastised. You are asking him what they should be doing. So they're special privileges. I said there are, yes, I did say I have some hypocrisy in me, but I did say my hypocrisy is minuscule. It's not a large hypocrisy, right? There's some people who are just hypocrites and it's just blatant and bad, like Trump, for example. You don't like to be Trump. But there's some people who, because they realize how life is, that they're gonna have some sense of it. They can have some hypocrisy, because if I don't criticize my friends, for example, but I criticize other individuals, that's hypocrisy, right? Because I'm saying you should criticize those who deserve criticism, then I'm saying I don't criticize friends. That's hypocrisy. That's why I've used hypocrisy. But at the same time, I am transparent with my hypocrisy. Which I'm trying to say that to Rudolph about. He always tell me about transparency. I'm always calling Rudolph for some reason, right? But when I say, Rudolph, you're conflicted, he doesn't want to hear it, and he gets into his feelings, which I find interesting. So yes, I'm a transparent hypocrite, but I don't think my hypocrisy is large. It's minuscule, I think. Right? It's minuscule. So yeah, but I'm not. I try not to be a hypocrite. Actually, I don't like hypocrisy. And in that case, wait, JJ Redick is a coach. I'm sure he's not going to Bronny lose him any games, so he's going to play him small amount of time. But the Lakers won, and they look decent actually. They have a decent team. So we'll see how that works out. Anthony Davis was great yesterday, but LeBron is almost 40. Anthony Davis is getting up there and is always injured, so they may not be, unless they manage their minutes. They're going to have a difficult time being great for the entire season. They may break down. No, it's not ADJ Ross. It's both AD and LeBron. LeBron has done his share. So let me move from and obviously basketball is going to be in its full swing. I expect the Knicks to do better than they did last night. Jesus, we were horrible last night. We looked so much. We got out coached, we got out managed, out coached, or it worked, out executed, just out. We're out of it. We probably shouldn't have turned out. We should have just given Boston the game and say, you know what? Let's get our team together first, and then we come and play you. So that was poor. Now let me go to some Champions League, and then we're gonna get into what you guys want to talk about. You guys don't really care about some of this. Let's go to results. I thought there were some interesting results today. So we go Tuesday first, because my team played on Tuesday, even though they weren't very good. As you can see from the games here, and I won't spend a lot of time on a lot of these games. I'll pick out individual games. Arsenal being Shakhtar Donetsk, we were poor. I know Hampton Sterling. He's running like he's out of breath in the first 5 minutes of the game. And that's why he can't get in the game, because he doesn't play defense. It's something is wrong with him. And maybe he's lost it. He started early. Maybe he's like a Wayne Rooney. They career over at 29, but he doesn't look good. I like Sterling, but doesn't look good. Aston Villa also won. They're 3-0. They're leading the tables. Long way to go. It's 8 games in the first round. They have played 3 already. Got 5 more. They probably need another 3 wins to get them through to the next round, where the top 8 goes through. The next 16 play home and away, and then you have a last 16. If you're 25 through 30 plus, you're out of it. If you're in the first 8, you don't have to play the next round. You go into the last round of 16. So that should be interesting. Juventus lost to Stuttgart, which I thought was surprising. PSG and PSI drew. The Dutch teams are doing well. Now, this is the game, people. This game here, I mean, if you guys can see my icon here. Dortmund versus Real Madrid. Now I'm watching the game, and Dortmund is up 2-0. Second half come, and it was a total different game. It's like Dortmund couldn't play football. They looked slow. They looked plodding. They couldn't keep the ball. And Vinicius Jr. looked like Pele. No, some people say he looked like Messi. Looked like Pele. He looked like the real Ronaldo. Because I don't follow the other Ronaldo that's in Qatar, however he is in the Middle East. I follow the real Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, who was a much better player, frankly. But it was amazing, actually. I don't think Vinicius Jr. It's kind of funny because we talk about Rafinha today. Vinicius Jr. looked unplayable in that game. The last goal he scored, where he took the ball from about their 18, Emre Can trying to run him down, and you just there laughing, thinking about, you're struggling, son. He gets to the edge of the box, cut inside, and put in the far corner. That's brilliant football, brilliant goal, brilliant solo effort. But I don't see him doing any of that for Brazil. Now, I know South America is a little bit more difficult. They play much more physical, but I don't see any of that. And Dortmund is a decent team. They were up 2-0 in the first half, but man, did they get smacked in the second half. But Vinicius Jr. looked ridiculous. Looks ridiculous. Played brilliantly. Had a great game. And that's what I'm saying. When you're a winger, we should be roasting the right or left back playing against you. That's why my team, Arsenal, struggle because we don't roast winger. We don't roast right and left back. He was roasting that right back most of the game, going between his legs, going around him. I remember the last goal, one of the goals he scored when he went between the person's leg was what he did against Fernandinho when he played against City. That's how they lost that game. Bless up New Wave. Thanks for joining. Oh, I forgot that you're a Madrid fan. Yeah. But I thought Dortmund would be able to hold out, but they looked like they could have gotten like 7 or 8, even though they started the game being up 2-0. It was amazing, actually. So Vinicius Jr. and they were just strutting their stuff. People, 92 people watching, 43 likes. Those numbers are not right, so I'm not going to look at them because that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, today's games, I'm always flipping between 3 and 4 games. So I watched most of the Barca versus Bayern game, right? That's it. I don't know why they have Aston Villa here. This is it. I watched most of the Bayern versus Barcelona game. And by the way, Aston Villa did beat Bayern, and Bayern lost the game today. So Bayern is not in the best place. I watched part of the Liverpool-Leipzig game, and those are the 2 games that I focused on. And if you look at these results, surprising results are Lille beating Atletico 3-1 at Atletico, which is really interesting. Bayern being smoked by Barcelona, even though it was at Nou Camp, they got smoked. And you know what's funny about that game? It was such a wide open game. It was like an NBA game where you play no defense. Like Barca was wide open. I'm surprised Bayern didn't score more. Bayern didn't play smart because Barca was wide open. Like their defense looked ridiculous. But almost like Barca was playing 8 kids who were all extremely skillful. You can't get the ball off them. But at one point, they couldn't get the ball off Bayern. And yet, I don't know. Bayern just poor. Kane scored a goal he shouldn't have been offside on. Then he scored another. But they didn't create enough chances. But the game was about Rafinha. Because Arsenal was trying to get Rafinha. He didn't play well for Barca over the last 2 years. He was the captain today in that game. He was brilliant. That last goal, when he got a 40-yard pass from Lamina on his chest, took it down, made a couple touches. Far corner, special. Bless up, Chris Smith. Special by Rafinha today, I must say. And he looked like he's happy at Barca now. And they have 2 brilliant wingers, actually. Because they were trying to bring in, what's his name? The kid that played for Spain to Barca, and that didn't work out. Arsenal was trying to get him to. So that's interesting, actually, in terms of what happens going forward. Are they still going to try to bring him in, or are they going to keep Rafinha? Because, Lamina is going to be there for a long time. He's exceptionally skillful. Those Pedri, Gavi, you can't get the ball off them. No matter how tight the space is, they get out of trouble. That's what Jamaica midfielders need to learn, actually. Nico Williams, thanks a lot, Chris Wisdom. You can't get the ball off them. And the question is, why can't our midfielders be like that? Where no matter how tight the space is, it's that quick feet. You see them moving the ball in tight spaces. Do we practice enough in tight spaces when people are getting coached in Jamaica, how to navigate those tight spaces and even make passes out of them, not even beat people passes? That's a question we got to ask our coaches, which is, how do you create scenarios and situations in training? First of all, how do you teach the kids to keep the ball in difficult situations, tight spaces? And then how do you help them navigate? And do you replicate that in training? Because I'm sure that's practice. Even though some kids just they play playground football and just bring it to the big screen. So, yeah. Now, he was offside, but he shouldn't have been offside. He was looking across the line. I don't think forwards who are looking across the line should be offside. He would have scored if he wasn't offside, if he was smart enough. And he, as an experienced forward, that shouldn't have happened. And then you see Lille beating Atletico Madrid. Atletico, Simeone is the highest paid coach in the world, in football in the world. He makes boatloads of money. He gets more than Pep. Simeone makes more than any player playing in Europe. Obviously, doesn't make more than Ronaldo, who's in the Middle East. But yeah, Simeone's get a boatload of money. But it's almost like he's Atletico himself. But it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I like those open games, actually. Because you never know what's going to happen. But Lewandowski scored one, and then the goal that Lewandowski scored, that people, what is VAR doing? That's a foul. If I'm jumping and you nudge me in the back, you don't need to nudge me that hard to get me get me that level. How the VAR doesn't overturn that is ridiculous. Like sometimes you wonder who's in this VAR room, who are in these rooms, the booth, where you're doing instant replay, because it makes no sense. That's a foul on the Bayern defender. I'm not a Bayern fan. I probably more want Barcelona to win, but I hate those situations where injustice is done and doesn't get corrected. Like, that's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So anyway, that was the results from that. And then what we can do is go to this, and then I'll move to what you guys want to talk about. Oh, I don't have it. I think I misplaced it. Let me try to find that. Let me try to find this. I had another one up. I don't know what I did with it. But no, it's a good competition so far. It's a different competition from prior years, as you know, where you play 8 games in the first round, and then the first 8 goes through 1 through 8, which is interesting. So let me show this up. So there's about 5 more games. So there are 3 rounds already, 5 more games in the first round. You'll have, and then you're going to have home and away for 9 through 16. 9 through 24. And then what you have after that is you then play, so it's home and away, and then you have home and away. They match up in the last 16 as the traditional competition is. So this is the standing. I don't know why I didn't bring this on here. So this is the standing, which is interesting. So you can see here, Aston Villa leads. Imagine that Villa is leading. Right? They have 9 points. They won 3-3. They beat Bayern. Liverpool second. So 3 EPL teams are there, but I would say 2 EPL teams are leading, and then the remaining 7 teams are all tied on 7 points. Goal difference being the differentiator here, or determinant in terms of where you sit. Arsenal is in 9th place, so if the playoff was to start today, we would get through to playing home and away, but we would automatically go through to the next round. But 5 games remaining, so a lot of time remaining. But as you can see from the standing here, Villa doing well. They got to continue their winning form to make sure they get to the next round. So make sure they don't have to play in that home and away in the 9 through 24 seedings. But good competition so far. Good games. How do you guys like the new format? You prefer this format versus the old format, where you're in these zones and you play everybody home and away? This is just different, right? This is just different. And I think it's going well so far. Devon says, time and space give you quality. You have to learn to play 1 touch, 2 touch, and move the ball, left the ball to work. Yeah, but Devon, I'm telling you, that they're not playing any 1 touch, 2 touch there. When I saw Pedri today in the middle, for example, he had 3 men surrounding him, and they couldn't get close to him. I thought that was ridiculous. 3 men surrounding him, they couldn't get close to him. He just moved the ball away from them, get into space, do what he does as he normally does. Brilliant football. That takes years of practice, actually, and learning to navigate tight spaces if you want to progress the ball. So I've gone through the first half an hour talking about NBA and Champions League. I'm going to progress now to talk about Mason Greenwood. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about a couple more things, actually. So I got a call yesterday from a good friend of mine, and he was saying that some things that you've been saying are now trending. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, they're trending. And I said, yeah, and he told me what they are. And I said, yeah, I've heard these things. So I'm glad I'm enlightening. I'm going to take credit for that, enlightening people. The first thing that's trending is, where's the coach, Reggae Boyz coach? So I'm not going to talk about Reggae Boyz coach now, but I'm just saying trending things. Where's the Reggae Boyz coach when there's no international window? What's he doing? Does anybody know that? Anybody know where the coach is when he's not? Because I'm going to talk about that. So you know the coach is on here in terms of Let's talk about coach and what I think the role of a national coach is. But where is he when there's no international winner? That's the first thing. So now that question I heard being asked continuously in different forums by different personnel in different situations. It's become it's what we call a viral type comment that go out there. So I'm gonna take credit for that. Even though some people may say it's their perspective. I don't think so. Another point is also I've been saying more lately, giving Andre Blake his credit and saying he's our best and most consistent player, and maybe the best goalkeeper in Jamaica's history. And some people are challenging me and say they think Ricketts is better. I don't think so. Blake really have bad games, and I know some people come back and say no, he has bad games. I don't see those bad games he's having. I think he's been brilliant and deserve his kudos. And then I'm hearing more people are talking about it. I think I went on Oral Tracy's program. I mentioned that actually. I think I went on there once, and that was something I mentioned actually. Number 3 is, so these are Krankyisms, I'm gonna call them Krankyisms, Kranky's originals. Now people are gonna say, no, Kranky, this is not you, but I think I brought this up and been emphasizing this. And I think when I watched one of his videos, I talked about this, which is coach not recruiting young English players. When he say that they have a right it's right that they play for England. And I got a lot of beating by people who are saying I'm just being critical and XYZ. And now that's also trending. It's been trending, actually. The whole item about poor questions by the media at JFF press conference. That's another Krankyism. I'm going to call him Krankyism, which I brought out. And now I'm hearing trending more and more and more. And now people are saying it's because of the YouTubers, they're asking questions. And I hear people are beating some well-known Jamaican personality about him denigrating YouTubers and him saying he leaves there because YouTubers are there asking questions. So I think I brought it up actually, which is how awful the questions have been. That people need to do their research. K&H style of play, which is kick and hope football. I think that's a Krankyism too. So I documented these and I was thinking about it. I document these. Here's another one I'm going to, so I have new ones, people. So these are my old ones. These are my old ones. I have a new one. I'm going to get beaten for this one. I don't really care. I'm going to say my normal thing. I don't really care if I get beaten or not. I'm going to ask this question. This is a cranky one. I'm asking the question, people. Because I'm going to transition now to this. I have like 5 or 6 things here I should talk about. You know what? Let me touch on them first before I come to the new Krankyism item, which is I believe the JFF, I'm trying to be nice, but I can't. I think their recruiting have been inadequate. They don't have a recruiting strategy. I said that the other day, and that needs to change. I know they have their Yes, float. The Barcelona right winger. So maybe I'm mispronounced his name. I messed his name up. I think their recruiting is inadequate. Maybe it's deliberate because they want to have their quota. Maybe it's deliberate because they want to have local players in the team. But I think their recruiting strategy has been awful. In fact, I don't think they have a recruiting strategy. It's a kick and hope recruiting strategy. Similar thing. Just throw it up in the air, hope somebody take the bait and come and join us. There's no recruiting strategy. And that strategy go out. We have the players that they have identified the players, they know who the players are, There's no strategy go about how I pursue some of these players and bring them on board. No definitive, well-designed, well-constructed, well-articulated strategy to say, how do I go and source these players? Part of it may be that they just don't want to. Because, you hear Skill Cole and Stewart from Abbeville and all these people saying we have players, we have Lamar Walker, and we have this Kaheem Dixon, and we have this, and you're just shaking your head thinking, what are you talking about? We have been watching football here forever. What are you talking about? You make man one cuss. Yeah? We have no problem. We have no issue with these players. But if we want to get to the World Cup and do well, we need better players. We don't need John Russell. We don't need Kaheem Dixon. I'm going to call it Russell. And John Russell is not locally developed. He's English born. I'm calling out what I've seen. That's my perspective. We don't need John Russell. I don't think we need K. Roy. And I like K. Roy. I think some of those players need to make way. It is what it is. Kaheem Dixon, Lamar Walker, John Russell, K. Roy. We need better players, people. Now, you guys may not like me saying that. And I've spoken to K. Roy. I've interviewed K. Roy, a great kid. But we need better players if you want to compete in this region, because our competition is not the Caribbean. I'm just saying. We may not like it, I'm saying. Second of all, So the recruiting strategy is awful and needs to change. And this coach ain't doing nothing because he's not recruiting young English-born players. Let me repeat that. I don't think he spoke to no Hutchinson. He ain't talked to no Hutchinson. I don't think he's talked to no Kadamari. Him same though, I don't think he did. I'm gonna care what no one say. Because sometimes me talk, me just talk on top of my head now. Me just talk because me like talking now. I may not call certain things, but when me I get intelligence, me I give it to no. Take it on no one, take it. See? I talk part to now. Me not think him talk to some people, him say him talk to. Because when him talk, him say this thing, him not specifically talk to nobody now. Him talk in generalities. Here's my last point on that before I transition. Because I'll get to the Greenwood thing. Do you think this coach want Mason Greenwood in the team? That's my crankyism. It'll trend to at some point. Me, I bet you right now it'll trend at some point. Do you think, I know the JFF does. I know the JFF does. I know Ricketts does. I think Rudolph does. Right? I don't know about Chung. But me asking the question again. You think the coach want Ravel 19? You think the coach want Greenwood 19? May want Ravel, even though him know Ravel. I know him say nothing about Ravel. But it was so kind of funny. We've all talked about Ravel. Him not said nothing about Ravel. Him know Ravel from Manu from way back when. Him seemed to avoid the Ravel question. Because I think Kratik asked the question, and he said nobody disregarded. He never talked about saying more, say, you know what, follow up on Ravel. Because we must see Ravel play. If him now go Middle East, go watch Ravel. I'll get tears from Ravel. Now we'll get to the coach. So let me pivot. So I said JFF recruiting strategy is poor and it's not changing and it won't get any better. It's poor even in Jamaica, much less to go overseas, period. It just the other day, start get coaches to convey the entire island, canvass the island. Canvass the island to figure out where talent reside. Before it was just Clarendon to Kingston. Maybe St. Catherine to Kingston sometime. Clarendon because enough Kingston ball can play football, like Clarendon College. But then I go Montego Bay, then I go Lucy, then I go Westmoreland. Them car broke down when them reach out Clarendon, run out of gas, and go back to Kingston. Regular thing that. For years. I just recently hear something there. Come on. Come on, management program. I talk about them have coaches for each of the different region and split up by region. Before that, we play football since 1911. And I know them start have strategy for recruit the catch the entire island. Joke thing, people. Doesn't mean that people from them place don't get game in their butt. And because of strategy that them deploy and employ to do that. Competence of the media in general, not just in Jamaica alone. The people involved with the JFF. People who are involved with the JFF. Competence of the media. Let me say some people. I said this already. When you go to a press conference, when you spend time a research what I want to ask questions about before you go there. Because you don't waste time. The most competent person at press conference are cataract. Which is saying a lot. A cataract is not really a journalist. I was mentioned some other YouTube channel that I'm involved in. I'm going to see him run the channel. Some of them don't work. But I was affiliated with enough channel. The tradition, oral trace I talk about, say, I never watch oral trace. Me hear somebody play it, say, oh, I feel lead because the YouTubers. Oral, I don't know better oral. All I don't know better. All I know I see him, put no one basket and run on the hill. All I see him, see him boring question. Traditional, me see a traditional media man from Observer have him shirt off. And the unfolding press conference. Now come talk about say a YouTuber versus original. Nonsense you chat, Oral Tracy. Nonsense you talk. All I see him. And now do the work, forget the results. And I have to see him boring question them. When are you gonna play Lamar Walker? Have you seen Whisper? What about Dixon? I see that you want a man just leave the space. Leave the space. Stop asking full question. And then I ask the coach, hey coach. We are trying to develop a football program in Jamaica. We're trying to get to world level. You have enough expertise. Why we can't see you. We're talking about that, you know. Why we can't see you when international winner didn't run down your yard. Oh, yeah, help we. But we'll talk about that more. I question that. As you say, coach, we don't have midfielders with the skill sets needed to progress the ball. Take it from my defense and move it through the lines. Create space. Drop them shoulder, coach. Have you done an investigation and assessment to determine what Jamaicans of local or overseas that have the skill sets you need to satisfy what we need to do to get us to be progressive in what we're doing? Ask questions what makes sense, people. Stop asking the same question them over and over again. Or stop go on AI and just get your question. If you go on AI and get the question, rejigger the question, reconfigure the question to make it meaningful. Because AI is a good source. I'm not telling you to use AI. But get the question and repurpose the question. Don't just take it and copy it like you can't read and ask the same full thing. Stop do that. Boring, nonsensical, not adding any value to anybody. Hey, let me tell you something about media people. If the coach come out to the media conference just a smile 24/7, they do not know media conference. This is not about beating people. Coaches will squirm in the media. Them will squirm as a life steer. The politician always a squirm. If you ask question when meaningful, which the coach also sometimes, you know what, ranted. You have to come prepared when next time you answer this, or you know what, if I do some work. None of the pressure the coach as to why I'm always set him to know the players them. No. In them conference. I say, coach, why don't you know the players? You have been here now 2 months. You told us that you watched Jamaica quite a bit. You told us that you talked to Speed 2 years ago, and you say you know the players. And everything we asked you talk about Meran God, like Meran God, not God. And my coach. What kind of idiot thing that coach? That is nonsense you're talking about. I said before these people, every job you go on, if you go and interview for a job, you do research. So I'm going to interview, for example, say I'm going to interview with Morgan Stanley. I'm going to interview with the Gleaner. I'm going to go out and find out what the Gleaner do. What's their business purpose? What products they have? Where they're located? What their history like? What their earnings like? I'm going to find out everything about the company as much as possible. So when I go in there, I'm informed. So when they interview me, I can answer this question. Hey, Speed, what question did you ask the coach? Because I know nothing about the team. When I get retirement, so I go to the coach, but you know, get nothing about the team. Because every time you ask him question, oh, you know, Romar Williams, I don't know him, but Meron said XYZ. Or Tavon Green, I don't know him, but XYZ. Them give you 50 names. You should be spending 10 hours a day. In fact, go out and probably work 20 hours a day, 2 hours on each player minimum. You should ask somebody to get all the videos you can get. And then you should pick out the ones you like and go watch them physically play. Go talk to their coach. Go look up their history. Stop telling, and on the people that talk about say, Kranky, you're too critical. You can't tell me nothing coming on what you want to say. Because I talk nonsense. No, all the people are accountable. That's why they get away with them nonsense all the time. I don't care if him used to coach Barcelona and then win 20 championships. I don't care what pedigree is. When he come to my country and do work, he must be doing work. We're not in them thing there. You know, I come use you and take the money and go run and go live on the beach. We are all accountable. And me call you out every single day we do a program. Me ask, where is the coach? Till me can't find him. I don't care what contract one say. If Speed make him find some full contract and talk about on the contract, say him not having obligation there, that's not my problem. Me call him out. The football program in Jamaica needs to improve. Me tired for years, so we have to have quota to catch up. The quota needs to stop. When it will stop, when the players in Jamaica are competent enough to compete with those who are developed overseas. We need all the help we can get. You're not helping, coach. And you're not doing no vacation job on with job. Else you need to go. You need to go. Sorry. I've been signing contract and can't get out of. But anyway, let me stop right there in my little rant. For a bit. And let me go to Greenwood. I'm going to come back to the coach, which is what my whole thing was about, which is what are his duties. I'm talk about his duties. But let me go to Mason Greenwood. I won't be long on Greenwood. Coming now, stop on the coach. I'm going to care if JFF want to hate me. I would say JFF, I'm sorry for no. If I get my channel shut down, me talk about uno to get on the thing right. Now, me say about JFF. They have been doing better. Give credit where credit is due. I don't hear any players whining and complaining of late. Girls, the women's team, let me call them girls. Women's team or the men's team. I know they brought in some people to help with things. Brought some people to help with things, to make things better. And that's been good. Give them credit. I know they're trying to get a lead program in place. So they should get credit where they're doing well. But we're talking about World Cup now. We're talking about a sustainable program in place. And we need all the expertise we can get. And if McClaren have contacts and expertise, we don't want him to have no kind of expertise on EB. But we'll get to him. We'll get to McClaren. We'll go back to Greenwood. We'll come back to McClaren. We're drinking some water first, people. And when I drink water, that 90 likes need to go up. Come, people, make the likes them go up. Go up like people. If you don't like what I say, then I'm not for there. But if you don't like what I say, then hit the like button and show if you don't like it. Yeah, them used to be tapper, like them afraid other people. Them used to treat tapper bad, including yours truly sometime, by the way. So I can't be a hypocrite. I used to say tapper sometime. No, when tapper bring in hacker, that's when me lose. Tapper lose me. When they bring in hacker, sorry, I don't want to call you out hacker. I don't beat you hacker. But when you bring in hacker, you kind of lose me there, so. Seriously. So let me go to Mason Greenwood, and then I'm going to come back to this, people. Because I think this is important. I'm going to come back to the coach. Because coach, y'all give me too much ammunition, coach. And if you give me ammunition, I'll use it. Sorry, coach. If you give me ammunition, I'll use it. Because I want them people believe, say, my country is important. My country needs, we can't afford to pay you how much we pay you, about $500,000 a year, and you work part-time. Are you mad? You must see out of your mind. But anyway, we'll get to your coach. We're not even start on you yet. You don't know. We're not English person. Okay, English person worse than we. So this is Mason Greenwood, right? Last interview he had, he just scored 4 games in a row. He didn't score. So I was reading an article on Yahoo and then one on about the Sun. Oh, this one on Yahoo, and it says Mason Greenwood. And I read something the other day about this. I'm gonna say from the Observer, who made reference and then say something that means nothing. Hey, Observer, looks like I don't feel out of business star, really. Mason Greenwood, who was sold by Manchester United to Marseille in the summer, is refusing to give up on his England career, according to the Sun. The attacker wants to speak to new England manager Thomas Tuchel before making a decision on his international future. Greenwood is still hopeful of representing the Three Lions after the controversies he was involved in at Man U. Tuchel has become the new manager of England after Gareth Southgate, blah, blah, blah. The German has become the English boss for the 18-month, blah, blah, blah. Greenwood is dreaming of playing for England, and he feels that he could add to his one England cap. I'm going to stop right there. People, I have it from great sources, not good sources, that this is all a lie, right? Now, I said this the other day, which is this. The tabloids in England are parasites. They are the worst parasites you can ever have in terms of people who communicate news. Parasites. All they want is to generate profits. They don't care who they hurt in the process. They'll say anything for it. You can't believe them. They're always quoting unnamed sources because they have to be unnamed because there are no sources. My understanding is that the kid has not requested such a meeting. It hasn't happened. It's a lie. And frankly, I've said this before in the last show, which is, even if he did, I don't think he would get a counsel with Tuchel about this, because it's not Tuchel, it's the FA. I'm sure the FA is saying, no, we can't have him. Now, the kid made a mistake, supposedly, because he's proving a court of law, right? The kid says he's innocent. They're back and forth on this. I don't know who is what. But at this point, I just say move on. The person we had the confrontation with, they're happy with him. That was a few years ago. Everybody deserves a second chance. Move on. Stop bringing the kid up, because this is not about them wanting him to play for England, though. This is about them wanting to make sure he doesn't play for anybody. That's all I interpret that to be. That's what I was told also, which is I got it from more than one source. I got a call and I got texts, which says from people who are close to the situation, say this is crap. This is nonsense, not Nagosa. They're trying to destroy the kid, which they've done a good job already. And I think it's not a good thing. Now, here's the question I'm asking. I've asked already in this program, and this should trend. This one, those who will take Kranky stuff and run with that one, yeah. Does McClaren want Mason Greenwood in his team? May I ask a question there? And those of you who are fake media, but now go press cam to ask question, and no are, ask the coach the question. Does he want Mason Greenwood in his team? You know, the coach same come and say him same talk to Mason Greenwood, and him know Mason Greenwood, I'm so excited. Let him say it specifically, put him on the spot. Because the last time Hagram said some nonsense, it make it look like a Rick is them put him up to say it. Him doing one Mason Greenwood. The last time coach we had tried to absolve himself by saying, oh, you know, Mason Greenwood, yeah, it wasn't really me. The coach at certain things, and I had to like play, you know, do what. No. Ask him the question. Do you want Mason Greenwood in your team? And if so, have you spoken about joining the team? And are you pursuing him vigorously? Like you really want him? Or is it a lukewarm conversation? Put the man them on the spot, people. Don't make them talk rolling with them nice, friendly voice and his way of, no. Answer the question, them. Hold them to the fire. No, if I want to get to ask 2 questions, no, ask 2 little flowery, fluffy nonsense questions. Like you never got school and no education. All around in that room, I'm sure I'm not smart. Ask the right question. Don't be afraid to ask tough question. JFF can't ban all of them. Because I mean, them ban some people from TVJ because they ask too much tough question. Them can't ban all of them because they need them to publicize them. They may soon ban me because I have some accreditation. They may just take it away from me. You know what? You can take it away. Because I ask the tough question. Hey, because you know what happens, people? If you're remote, you don't get to ask questions directly. Or indirectly, frankly. You can't ask the question. Come here, ask the coach. Coach, do you want Mason Greenwood in your team? Have you spoken to him? How many players have you spoken to, coach, that are under 24 years old? Have you spoken to any? Will you speak to any? Why? Somebody go to the coach now. I transition from Mason Greenwood. Me gone on the coach now. So a couple of things. Me not the coach now, people. We're at almost 7 o'clock. I mean, so me finish this. Not I know, because I want to stay late tonight. But you know what? Me have enough to talk about. Me I got a coach now. This is coach time. Coach time, people. Coach time. Coach me I talk about now. I mean, no people say the coach just come and see people like Kranky, I beat the coach and I beat. No. Let me say some people, and I've said this before. The coach, to me, is insignificant in getting us to the World Cup. Let me repeat that, because people may not realize what I say. To me, the coach is insignificant in getting us to the World Cup. The players will get us to the World Cup. Quality players will get us to the World Cup. I don't care USI or Pochettino or whatever. No. Players going to get to the World Cup. I don't coach. Coach are coming out a window, can't create nothing when he come in a window. Coming out some window, come quick and him leave. We need players. We need quality players. Wherever those players reside, have Jamaican heritage. I'm trying to pull something up here, and it doesn't want to move. So let me just say this, which is important. At least I think it's important. Which is, I'm getting a call. I don't think my thing is connected enough. Let me connect you. Give me a second. I think I messed this up. I don't think I connected my phone to the system. Let me do that. Then you can, whatever it is, you can speak. Hey, how you doing, man? Good afternoon. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Are you still there?
Absolutely.
All right. Go ahead.
Yes. I like your analysis about the coach. I feel like you're spot on everything that you said. You know, you're not up here lollygagging. You know, you're speaking facts. You know, you're not here to waste time. You're trying to get the message out there. You know, and you know, I'm not sure if you're deriding the coach, in a sense.
I'm doing that.
Like I don't. If you're deriding the coach, I don't know.
Am I deriding the coach?
Yes. Are you?
I'm just calling things the way I see them. If one want to call it deriding or whatever term we're gonna use, if it's an adjective or whatever it is, I'm just calling it like I see it. And people can. Here's what people have to do. Here's what people should say. Is Kranky just talking nonsense, or is there any credence to what he's saying? That's what the question should be.
I actually like how you're analyzing the situation here, because he's been here for 2 months and I haven't got anything about none of the players. Either you're telling us, okay, that the players, you know, documentation is, you know, in process. You haven't given us any. You just hold.
No. That's all true. No. The coach has nothing to do with his documentation. His documentation is in progress.
Know what's the progress? What's going on?
No. We you can't be told that because it's complicated. It's complicated. I'm not blaming the coach about the player and his documentation. That's not what I'm doing. That's far from it. Because I have insights on that, right? It's not to do with coach's documentation. The question is, does the coach want the player? That's the question. Does the coach want the player?
He spoke very highly of Mason about 1.5 months ago before. No, approximately 3 months, because he got appointed in August. So, you know,
So the last coach seemed like he wanted Mason, but then he went to Ireland and said he didn't want Mason. It wasn't him. It was the FA. It was the JFF put pressure on him. Right? We need to know. We need to know categorically, does he want him in his team? We don't want to hear a year from now him come saying, "Oh, you know what? That was me. That was the FA. They forced me to do this." We don't want that.
Right.
We want him to come on. Because if you want him, you're gonna push to get him. If he wants him, you're gonna push to get him.
You want him to be assertive towards the situation.
Yes. I want him to.
I agree.
I want to push to get the player and talk to whoever he needs to talk to, and push the JFF and push whoever he needs to push to get it.
Yes, because we need to go to the World Cup, right?
Yes, it's an imperative.
And do you feel like the player that we have, do you think we need some more pieces?
We need pieces.
And name them which position, and do you think that we still need more forward to integrate into the team?
First of all, you should have 2 players for every position. We don't have 2 center forwards who are indispensable. We don't have 4 wingers who are indispensable. We don't have 8, 9 midfielders indispensable. We have a goalkeeper who's indispensable. That's probably the only person on the team is indispensable. He's a goalkeeper.
I would say that our defense, is good, but it's a major danger because our left back and our right back is not being too spectacular since lately. Our forward has not been scoring lately. Our midfielder they are dreadful. They are horrendous in the games. Well, we saw Maggie came in, display a true good match against Honduras. I mean, against Nicaragua. What is Nicaragua? I can't really say the name. I don't want to, But Honduras didn't have his best game. But when you look on the team itself, I feel like this team is a below average team, and we do need more than what we think. We're not producing a lot of goals. I mean, Bailey hasn't been in the team.
Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad?
With Bailey being out the team, or
Bailey in or out of the team, is that good or bad?
I mean, it's not good. It's not looking good because we're not getting any goals. You look on the Gold Cups when we play. All right, I'm gonna use a perfect example. When we play against Trinidad get a whopping 4 from us. We'll play against St. Kitts gets a whopping 4 from us. 5. So we had 10 goals in the 3 groups in the 3 matches that we played against the United States, St. Kitts, and Trinidad. Bailey offers that. He kind of let off the pressure off the Mari Gray, and Mikel Antonio just roam up front. So it more fluently when Bailey's in the team. But he hasn't been in the team. When he, exclude himself from out of the squad, we haven't been scoring a lot of goals. Not saying that he's producing the goals, but he's just that main threat. He's that figure that bring, the danger against the opponent. So the other player can show the true display talent like a Demari and Shamar Nicholson. But that just saying that, I feel like this Reggae Boy team needs a lot of work. And I'm on your side. I don't feel like you're beating the coach. I feel like you're being, constructive and being real. You're not being a fake jupilat like these other YouTubers that bootlickering against they're double agent. They wanna beat the coach, but they don't want a bad strike. I feel like you're being constructive without being mean. And I like how, you're voicing your displeasure. The coach needs to be more assertive with the players that he wants, because in the next 18 months from now, we're going to be, it's World Cup time. And the next year from now is World Cup qualifying time. So we need those pieces to be integrated into the team so the team can gel going forward into the 2026. And I feel like we are not that bad in terms of bringing, the team together, because the Grimsey's got that, that quota system and that data and integrated into the team, so we can get a players, like from all over the world to be in the team. But looking forward, I feel like we should be competing with the likes of the United States. We have been doing that. I'm not going to argue, so I see that we are competing. But I don't want us I want us to win those matches because we have the players to do it. We have the players to do it. But if we get more talented pool players into the team, I feel like we can definitely go up above this team and be confident that we can win the games and stop going to the games thinking of, okay, just because they're United States or Mexico, we fall short in the last minute. So I appreciate you, man. And once again, you already know it's Kaka. I come with facts and my stats is very highly. I don't come in here to talk badly about anybody. I'm just saying I agree with you based on how you elaborate yourself. You don't be me. I could understand. I don't know why people think that you're beating the coach. You're not beating the coach. You're just being open and being honest and being real. And that's thing that's rare in the YouTube space because a lot of people don't wanna do these things. People are so shadow banned of, voicing their displeasure. But I'm not gonna hold up the line, man.
All right, Kaka. Thanks for
Doing a
calling.
good job.
All right, Kaka.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Continue doing a good job.
All right.
Sure, man.
All right, Kaka. Thanks. Appreciate it as usual.
All right, man.
So people have a question. Thanks, Kaka. I have a question, people. First of all, what's in the coach's contract concerning his availability or lack thereof during international windows? Does he have an agreement with? Because when they asked him, the coach, about where he's going to live, he mentioned that he's going to be on the road quite a bit. On the road to where? Coach, which road you on? What, the M4 you on? Where I drive go? You drive go down to London, because you see you come from up north. You drive London, go watch Antonio play. What M4 you on, coach? Where you on? You on the road? What road you on, coach? Where I drive go? I mean, you fly go Middle East, go watch grape. Me want to know, coach, where you there? Who I know? First of all, hey, JFF, because we know no love, no hate. We know how this, but we can't live with the hate, because that's life. Everybody can't love you. People, I'm going to talk about what I expect the responsibility of a national coach should be. And then I'm going to talk about some of these questions. So here's the question, coach. JFF, what's in the coach's contract? Is it that he works 4 times a year for 2 weeks each? And you pay him per diem? Or you pay him like a consultant based on the time he works? Or does he have a contract and he gets a set compensation and he gets paid like every month or every 2 weeks? How does that work, Rudolph and Ricketts? Please inform your stakeholders, because we are stakeholders too. When you talk about stakeholders, you talk about people in Jamaica. So those in Jamaica, the stewards, the skill cool, when you run the JFF, all out in Jamaica, when I'm the football, those of you who run the Parish Association, when you ask the JFF about how the coach contract set, what's the contractual terms? What does the contract stipulate about him being available to help with a local program? How does that work? When he travels, when he's not in Jamaica, what is he doing? May I ask the question now every single show? What's the coach doing when he's not in Jamaica? Is he on the M4 driving down to the South Coast, to Bournemouth someplace, go enjoy himself? Is he on the plane going to Barcelona? Is he going to Ibiza? Where is he going? We can't understand. So here are my views about what the requirements should be for a national coach. All right? Because the role for national coach encompasses several critical responsibilities, which is aimed at enhancing both team performance and preparing them for international competition. Right? Notably, the FIFA World Cup in 2026, which is what we're focused on. Bless up, know yourself. Thanks for joining. So here's the thing. Team leadership and strategic development. I'm going to talk about each of the category, and I'm going to when I talk about each of the category, I'm going to see where I see McClaren on those category. First category, team leadership and strategy development. There's no strategy development, by the way. So we'll cancel that, right? I'm saying these are requirements a national team coach should have. For the head coach is responsible for establishing the team's tactical approach, style of play, which include formation, game strategies, training regimens, tailored to their strengths and weaknesses, both for the team and opponents. And I believe if you're really where Jamaica is, because every team is different, the more industrialized countries like England, they don't need for that, but no style of play and no strategies, because the strategy set by the FA. We need to inform that strategy with input from people with expertise, which is where he comes in with Speed and Ricketts and all of them, and Chung and all of them. Is he involved in that? He may involve in team strategy, but is he involved in strategy for the football in Jamaica and help to be a catalyst for help and put input? Does he do any of that? I would say No. Does he involve with the strategy for the team and developing the team and preparing for competition? Yes, he is. Do we see a style of play? We see some possession football being played. An indicator of this is the last game Blake had one at 96% passing accuracy. That means he's not kick the ball long anymore. Try to play the ball from the back. But part of that wasn't us. That was the opponent. So did he scout Honduras to see what the strategy that they employ? Because he looked like he was lost when they decided to play mid-block. But I would say he's trying to put a style and his imprint on the team. So I'm going to grade him from 1 to 10. And the first one, I'm going to say he gets 40% out of 100 because there's no strategy for the national team, but he's involved. You know what? I'm going to give him 60%. Because some people would say, you know what? Some coaches doesn't have that purview, team leadership and strategy development for the national program itself in terms of preparing for games. So I give him 60%. Player selection and development. Let me repeat that again, people. Player selection and development. The coach must evaluate player performance, select the roster for matches, and manage player development. This involves nurturing talent from youth levels to ensure a robust pipeline of skilled players for the national team. So what do I have here? Because I'm writing on them thinking, people. So in this part, McClaren responsibilities, and does he have a history in developing young players? And if he has a history of developing young players, why wouldn't he be involved in helping Jamaica in terms of what they need to do? Because he was part of the FIFA expertise program, working with Speed during the pandemic to come up with a talent development program. Why wouldn't he not now be really intricately involved on the ground since he did that, job remotely? Why wouldn't he be involved? Right? And second of all, if young player development, because we don't want to work up on them for we're facing the people. We want to work up and maintain the consistency and make it something which is sustainable. Him now recruit no young player. Play old man, them recruit. I mean, I'm not going to say old man, them recruiting, because I look them come on, them can't play. But he's not recruiting any player under 24 because he believe they have a right to play for England. That is unacceptable. First of all, him not recruit nobody, kind of know nobody. Every time you ask him a question, oh, I asked Meron. Meron told me Romaro Williams. Meron told me Tevin Gray. Meron told me McGee. Meron. I would think his name is Meron. Bless up, Sean. Thanks for joining. I would think his name is Meron, the way he keeps saying Meron. If you, and I know some people, I said this like 10 times already. If I join you in August, if I knew I was going to interview for the job and I knew Speed, so I have a good chance of getting it, from June, me I studied Jamaica. Every single opponent in play, first of all 7, 8, 9 competitors from El Salvador to Honduras to Nicaragua to Costa Rica to US, I am going to know them like back of my hand. I'm also going to know every single player who I beat a debate for Jamaica. I'm going to know them really well. Likes, dislike, ability, skill set. I'm going to know them. I'm going to study them before I even go to the interview. I can't be 2 months in talking about, I don't know the player. Meron's the X, Y, Z. I like him. I saw a little bit of him. I like him. Oh, Romari, I don't know him, but Meron mentioned him, so he must be good. You're the coach? For real? People get fired for less than that. Seriously. Oh, yeah, I spoke to Ochamari and Hutchinson. I don't think you did. I'm sorry. I'm challenging you on that. I'm not talking from the top of my head. I don't think you did. They have a right to play for England, and it's just what they should do. No, you're a conflicted coach. You're English. And you can't go by England until the FACI recruit Jamaican player. Jamaica become recruit the player them. That means you should not be involved in recruiting then. Let other people go recruit. Let Devon Porter go recruit like now when they do. Because JFF not done recruiting. Let Antonio and Bailey and all them players who know the players go recruit because you know now do not recruiting. If JFF not recruit and your coach not look like you want to do no recruiting. Yeah. All prepare one night team. Play people who not even sure can get to the World Cup. Antonio at 34. At some point, you hit that wall, it's done. They have young forwards in England who can play for Jamaica, go recruit them. In fact, you don't do it. Send other people to do it. JFF. Let me write another song about it now. Can I get me perturbed? Building team cohesion. Him not have to do that. Because the year Antonio talked about this, that done go from under Algrimson, even before Algrimson, that done do long time. Him not have him must have the team cohesion great. So this is another thing, people. We just talked about team leadership and strategy and get about 60. Player selection, I give him 0. Preparation for competition, And I'm really come up with the competition thing then, right? You prepare the team for competition, but selecting international venues and friendlies and all that at JFF, so we're not getting on grade on that. Building team cohesion, we're not giving on grade either, because he not do that, that's been done already. So he might benefit from it, he not do it. Media relations and public representation, he only do media stuff, apart from the One Sky interview that he did, that I know of, when he called Jamaica for international window. Other than that, we not hear from him. The man on vacation anyway. Can't hear from on vacation, but the man not hear from him. The man not hear from him. So in essence, him now do the media thing. He's supposed to go promote Jamaica. I go to sponsors in Jamaica. I go sponsors outside of Jamaica. He's supposed to meet people tough. Him sound good. Him have English accent. It always sound like them intelligent when you have English accent. He's supposed to do all of that. I'm not take no call till me finish this, people. So call me back after this. I'm not taking a call until I finish my list. So me have 4 already, right? I have team leadership and strategy. I have player selection and development. So him get 6 for the first one. Him get player development and get 0 out of 10. Preparation for competition. We give him no grade. Well, you know what? I'll give him 5 out of 10 for that. Can do prepare the team, but him not select the venue, them and anything there. That's between Kickoff and JFF and whatever. Building team cohesion is NA, because that's been done. Media relations and public representation. Like I said before, I give him 4. So when him do the interview, him sound good, but because nobody now pressure him. Let me say again, him sound good, but nobody now pressure him. He not get the pressure in conference them. And in cataract question, him a good question, them now make him squirm. If you're in a press conference, you're supposed to get question, you say something, but don't want a question there. It should even be contentious. Media news conference are not meant to be you in your living room and enjoy yourself. It's not meant to put people to the sword. It's meant to ask insightful questions to get insightful responses. You're not getting the pressure. And first of all, now enough interview to Jamaica. One with Sky, I think Sky News, when talk about Jamaica and XYZ, but who am I interview with? Who am I meet? Why me couldn't have a part-time job like this? Me work for about 30-something years in my life. I mean, me have to go work. Me I work 15-hour days, 12-hour days. Why me not blessed with a part-time job like this? Me get paid $500,000 a year, and me have to do. Me come to a window, me smile and take some simple 5-year-old questions from the media. We go play some game. I'm gonna come here. That's the best job ever. Long-term vision. Hear the last one, people. Long-term vision. Hear the last one. Long-term vision. Beyond immediate results, the coach is expected to contribute to a long-term vision for the Jamaica football program. Focuses on sustainable growth within the sport in the country. This includes collaborating with youth academies, local clubs, to enhance soccer profile in Jamaica and outside Jamaica. You can get -10 for that. Not get nothing. Can't do none of that. You can't do nothing in Jamaica in the yard. In general, people, the coach play a pivotal role in shaping not only the team's competitive edge and what they might do now, but also its future international soccer. And this coach, if I was grading him out of 10, based on how we play so far, even though we win our game, for results, probably 7 out of 10. I'm not like how we play sometime. For his impact on football in Jamaica, I'm about 0. I'm about 0. Seriously, I'm about 0. It's not good. So here's the question for the JFF. Hey, JFF. Do you guys have the audacity to ask the coach a question as to what he do when he's not in Jamaica? Do you think you have the authority, or I'm going to call it the audacity? It must be audacity. It look like I'm an employer, or not employing. Or the employer? Is it JFF the employer, the coach the employer? It look like coach the employer. Like the guy JFF the employer, the coach the employer. I don't know employer. Let me say we can call it first. Yeah. Look like him. Make that call them. Call back. Make a call. I don't think the coach the employer. Look like I am employed them. It's like a superior, subordinate construct or situation. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Okay, so I've just given over my program to the caller. Caller, it's your program. Go ahead.
You don't want to do that, because remember, they don't have my number, and it's your face on the screen.
But they know I don't talk like that. They don't talk like a yardie. You know, me not talk like me know English. Me not talk like a yardie.
You see, even though even though you say you have given over the program, notice enough, you have given over the program. So you're still liable for everything
Yes, that's
that
true.
happens
That's
on the
true.
program.
That's true.
It's your
That's true.
responsibility.
I do.
don't make that
If you
mistake.
read my write up in my description, I do have a caveat there, a cranky disclaimer.
But despite your disclaimer, sir, the program is registered to Kranky, not to
I don't know who
Pastor
Kranky is. Who's Kranky? I'm gonna be like Judas. Who's Kranky? Who's Kranky?
One thing. Let me tell you, there is a law in Jamaica that if you answer to a certain name, whether it be alias or otherwise, over 3 times where there's evidence to suggest so, that is your name. So it don't have to appear on your birth certificate, sir.
Yeah. Then why? Coach, me not agree with you, Pastor. You know me not agree with you. So why them players they can't get them document? Why they can't get them document? Why they can't get them document, Pastor? Because half of them people would go overseas with wrong name and wrong thing. That's how the problem is.
Hold on. Most Jamaicans that speak patois cannot read it.
No, I'm not talking about patois. What I'm saying is this: you talk about names, right?
I'm saying
yes. I would probably say
are misspelled.
Yes.
Their names are misspelled, so it is not the same thing. And that, but I'm going to submit here that there is no player that the JFF and its leadership core is interested in getting that they cannot get because of no misspelled name. All of that is rectified.
No. It's not. No. So let me say this. It's more complicated than you think, actually. So it's not just about misspelled name. Now. Sometimes it's assumed name people travel under. You know how that works? A lot of people travel under assumed name, right?
Kranky. Kranky. Even the person who breached the system and travel in my name, go overseas, that can be proven. You have to put the person in a problem. But even that can be addressed.
But Pastor, that's the problem, Pastor. You have a catch-22. I can put you in problems to go play for a national team, or I can leave it alone and go on with my business.
It's not the player.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know. I'm saying.
Parent.
I'm saying I can put you in problem, go play for a national team and satisfy myself, but then you're put out in the cold. That's part of the problem. So there's a lot of different problems. There's a lot of different problems.
Kranky?
Yeah.
Something is at the government level.
Yes.
And would fall under ambassadorship and executive orders, and all of that is politics. There is no player that the Jamaica Football Federation and those in charge in Jamaica want to play for Jamaica. So what? Let's say the Football Federation wants your son or daughter born outside of Jamaica to play for Jamaica. They now need to, because the Football Federation cannot move Pika. You know who can move Pika?
Who?
The government to which Pika answers can move Pika.
I know, but here's what you're missing, Pastor. And people don't seem to realize this. Does the JFF have any influence with the government? Let me repeat that.
Kranky.
Does the JFF have any influence with the government? That's the question.
The answer to that question is as orange or as green as the Jamaica political sphere.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, let me tell you what that means. That question answer is a JLP PNP affair.
Okay.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
The JFF, whether truthfully or otherwise, is predominantly a PNP organization. It is the JLP that is now running the country. And these persons, like in America, they have not been able to put partisanship aside and do what is right for the country's interests. It is over 2.5 years, whether on YouTube, I said, Andrew needs to protect Jamaica's brand. And some of the foolishness that has been allowed to go to tarnish Jamaica's image should have been stopped long ago.
Yeah, but nobody tarnish Jamaican image like Jamaicans. They promote the image, but they tarnish it too.
Hold on. Kranky. Granted that, if me and you are tarnish Jamaica image, that is me and you. When you put an organization name to it, that's a different legal kettle of fish.
That's true.
Anyway, I didn't call you to talk politics.
So you come here to talk.
All right. Firstly, I noticed you highlighted the question, me magnifying the question that you asked.
Right.
All the jobs that I've applied for, I have done what you articulated any responsible, qualified, intelligent person does when they are applying for a job. If you are coming to me, and let me throw this in there. When I started my house in Clarendon, the land was pure bush. Now, rather than use a cutlass and a hook stick in cutting the bush, you have two cutlass, a cutlass in my right and a cutlass in my left hand. Because if I get tangled, I am cutting my way out, I'm not hooking my way out. 3 guys came there looking for a job because they're walking throughout the estate looking for jobs on construction sites. When the men saw me using 2 cutlass at the same time, the man then said, no, sir, we're not going to get no work here, sir. Because we never see nothing like this. The man had used 2 machetes at the same time. Having said that, I've said that to say this. McClaren is an abject failure from the first time he made the statement. He didn't know the player, and Meron said they should have fired him on the spot. No, I am saying it. For all the jobs I've applied for, I knew sufficient about the companies for them to be impressed that I am interested in moving the company forward. McClaren is a failure from the first time he mentioned that he took any player on Meron Gordon's say-so. He should not have passed the interview stage. But having passed the interview stage, he should have been fired when he made that statement.
Well, I do believe it's unconscionable that he keeps coming to these news press conferences saying he doesn't know the player. Because even if you don't know the player, you probably should find a different way of saying, because coaches would find different ways of positioning that. It's not okay.
Kranky,
it's not okay. It's not okay.
Kranky, this is an Englishman. He has command of the English language. He's telling you exactly the position he's in. I am not interpreting nothing. If he doesn't know, because he doesn't care to know. He went as far as to say they gave him a list. He spoke to Hal Grimson. So it means that you have the damn database where Hal Grimson and John Wall did prepare.
Yep.
And it's time to take it that you have the database. How do you enter the job without knowing at least the players immediately outside of the regular 23-man squad that is being selected? Let's say you don't know nobody who potentially can play for Jamaica. You must know the players from 24 to at least 45 before you go to that interview.
You would think so.
No, you have to be if you're a professional. If you're damn interested in the progress of the country. That's how I have operated for every job that I've applied for. And I'm not the brightest. But I'm not dumb enough to think you can sell what McClaren is selling. Unless you take the people who you're selling it to for damn buffoons. Is Meron Gordon the coach? Why are you the coach so reliant and dependent on somebody you should be leading? No, I'm not saying he should walk in and change everything. But this over-reliance on consultation with Meron Gordon is damn foolishness.
But here's the worst thing about this, people. He feels comfortable saying it. Because you know why?
That is my contention.
Because no one in the conference have said, Coach, why is it that every time you come here you talk about the players? What did you do before you came to Jamaica? You did talk to any players? Did you look at the players? Did you review the players? How you know going to the World Cup unless you had surveyed who you have, who you can get, who you know you can get, who is in position currently? What exactly did you do so you should get the job? Or you just had a resume that they love because you had experience?
Kranky, from what you are saying, I said on, I don't even remember, I think it was IMAXit, not WeMaxit program. I don't, from how McClaren stated what he stated about Hutchinson Kadama theory, I submitted that he did not speak to them.
No, I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to them.
He did.
Don't ask me how I know, but I'm not talking to them.
He said what he said. I deduced that. He didn't speak to them. He did not speak to them.
I talked to them.
And without me getting any information from anybody, it is just how he said what he said. I had this conversation on IMAXit. He didn't talk to a lie. The coach has told 5 lies in 2 months. And whether he's doing it to protect the JFF or not, I want him to know I'm keeping scores. After you get to the 3rd lie, you are a liar. And there's never a good reason to tell a lie, but you go on a number 5.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There's always a good reason to manage the truth. Not to lie, but to manage the truth.
There's never a good reason to tell a lie. You can't go.
I'm not saying tell a lie. I'm not saying wait. Okay, so a lie is if you're deceiving somebody,
So what the coach doing in my what you think?
But I'm just saying, some people think a lie is just me saying, you know what, X, Y, Z. A lie is you deceiving. So if you manage the truth, that can be perceived a lie.
Hello.
So I gotta be careful with that.
You don't need to tell a lie any of the times that he told a lie.
So I have a question for you. If your wife asks you, say, do I look overweight? And you think she does, will you tell her she's overweight?
You better don't ask me. She better don't. Hell.
Don't just say, honey, you're beautiful no matter what. They just say, honey, you're beautiful no matter what size you are. No matter what size you are, honey, you're beautiful.
No. You see, you're going to fabricate the truth.
I'm not fabricate that. Maybe she look good with the weight. Maybe she look good with the weight.
Hello. Hold on. Your question that you posed to me.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I am no longer married. However,
okay.
If my wife don't want the answer to a question, don't ask me.
No, she actually want the answer, but she wants you to also be cautious in your reply.
Kranky, in my experience, in my studies, I'm agriculturally trained and certified before I went into ministry. So I know about body mass index and biometrics and these things and genetic quotient. I know about these things. So my ex-wife, who is a registered nurse, knows that I know these things. She can't ask me that question the way you ask me it. Okay. Because I'm going to answer it.
So, okay, Pastor, I have a question for you. Before you go, I have a question for you. You see a lot of times, so people don't beat me for this, or don't beat me, let's say it anyway, don't beat me. So you see sometimes a person will just, okay, let me ask you a question, and this is probably an unfair question, I'm asking anyway. Have you ever been in a situation where you look at a baby and say, oh my Lord, but you said the baby look pretty, look handsome, when you know in your heart that's probably not the case?
I've been in those situations where a lot of persons would say that I did not.
Really, Pastor? Really?
Yeah, I am telling you the truth, as truthful as you ask me the question. I've been in those situations a lot of times. I've seen what I would consider ugly babies.
I don't think any baby's ugly in the sight of God. I don't think there's any ugly baby in the sight of God. So may not have the appearance that we determine to be beautiful in this environment.
Kranky, I have seen ugly babies, and ugly babies are as a result of sin. It has nothing to do with God.
Okay.
Good. God don't like ugly. I don't like it either.
So God wasn't around when the baby was made? God just disappeared.
No. Because of the
I thought this was a sports
degenerating nature
program.
of man, God has allowed some things to happen which were and are outside his permissive will.
But Pastor, people. And there's a sports program, and we'll get into a bit of trouble. Pastor, stop there, Pastor. Stop. My head has spin. That's why I'm struggling with people.
All right.
Wait, Pastor. One second, Pastor. Let me just stop you for a second. If God is omnipotent, He knows everything about everything.
Not if.
Nothing is okay. So there's not. So don't caveat then, and then say, oh, something is outside His will. There's no such thing.
No. Notice I said there is such a thing as God's divine will as well as God's permissive will.
Okay.
So nothing happens.
So God permit ugly baby.
God
permit ugly baby. So yes, God permit ugly baby.
No,
That's what you say.
So
the baby live the entire life as a human being ugly.
Hold on. I was going to help you to come out of your head spinning by saying
okay.
It has been my experience that a lot of these ugly babies end up being beautiful women. Take that.
What, plastic surgery? They have plastic surgery?
No. I'm not. No.
You mean the inside is beautiful, but the outside is challenged? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm talking physical, external looks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
In
that.
fact,
I know
I
there's a
could
metamorphosis
train you to look
like
up this
you have
song.
caterpillar. Like caterpillar you
What?
talk about. So she not talk about caterpillar faster.
Hello. Based on which caterpillar you're looking at, some of them is quite sightly.
No, but I'm talking about the metamorphosis. You just change completely, right? If you're born a certain way, those features carry you through.
Cranky. Let me tell you this. A lot of the ugly adults you see right now were beautiful, were pretty babies.
Okay.
You know what makes them ugly in their senior year?
What?
They have become so damn dissatisfied with everything that they fail to smile. They have some poor outlook on life. They have so much displeasure with everybody else. So they become grumpy inside, and that comes out on the outside. They're just downright ugly. They weren't born that ugly.
So this Ted Dexter says people are not ugly in God's sight; they are in human sight. Okay, interesting. Interesting.
Tell him to go read his Bible.
So you're saying that's not true?
I am exactly saying that's not true.
Hey, Pastor, I'm gonna say this, Pastor. We're gonna cut this conversation. I'm gonna say this. We've talked about this before. We're gonna go on Balance View in the next 2 weeks, you and I, and have some of this conversation. We have to. We have to. I have so much to learn from you, and so much to ask you. Like I want to ask the coach. So we have to go on Balance View and go. I have so much to ask you, Pastor. It's gonna be like me trying to ask the coach question. I'm dying to ask the coach some questions.
Greg, you were calling me.
Pastor seems to have been two conversations.
No,
but no, I have questions to ask the coach.
So I checked on the call.
Okay. So Pastor, you have 5 more minutes to summarize what you want to say about the coach. Come, Pastor, you have 5 more minutes, Pastor. You have 5 more minutes. So you get extra time. You get like triple your normal time.
Yes, Frankie.
Yeah, five more minutes to summarize your perspective on the coach.
Okay. 5 more minutes to summarize the perspective on the coach.
Yes. And some of the things I've been saying. What do you disagree? Agree or disagree?
I totally agree with your perspective on the coach. Totally agree with it. I don't believe that if I should value the coach's CV that they promoted to get him to Jamaica when they hired him, that a coach could look away with that CV, could look away from all the players in the diaspora and say, I saw a little of him and I like him, and select. And I hope the locally born players listening, this is not an indictment on you. Kranky is a better YouTuber than some YouTubers. There are players that are better than you. And the fact that you're born in Jamaica, when you are to be selected for a team, should not be a consideration. It is your competence, your skills, and what you bring to the team that should determine you getting there or not getting there. No coach with McClaren's CV can convince me that you look away from all of those players in the diaspora, which covers 200 plus of the countries on earth, and tell me that your best pick for CDM is born in Jamaica, out of the JPL?
I suppose they're good enough, like Blake is. Yeah.
Hello.
He says he like angling. I mean, maybe angling is good enough. Who knows? I haven't seen him play.
Kranky. Angling is not better than any of the CDMs on the radar of the YouTubers. He's not equal to none of them. Not Brandon Cover, not Splat, not none of them. He's not at that level.
But I'm not going to say that. I haven't seen him play, so I can't judge his ability. I haven't seen him play.
Kranky, I am telling you this. Speed of play, awareness, ability for CDM. Angling is not in the same class of neither Splat nor Cover, who are younger than him. By the way, angling is not a better CDM than Kevin Lambert. If you want to split hairs, angling is not a better CDM than Kevin Lambert.
Okay.
McClaren has quickly become a liard as the Jamaica senior national male team coach.
I'm not going to call him a liar. I'm saying he managed
Kranky, this is Pastor Lansley Adolph Blake.
I'm just trying to make sure that's clear.
I can submit 5 instances where what came out of the senior males national team coach's mouth is not the truth. By the definition of the word lie, it is not the truth. And if you have gone past lying 3 times without universally accepted, well, who back him up in a corner why he needs to tell them the lie? Who will go ahead? Because I don't agree with it though, but I can see somebody will have gone at your head.
Well, Pastor, you can't definitely say he's lying unless you have evidence. You're saying you think he is.
No. Kranky, I am saying to you this. McClaren's CV is what it is. We can't change it. He has earned that. Regarding the CV that he has, not even with cataract overgrown on his eyes, the statement that he made about angling cannot be deemed true.
Well, I mean, no, but he said he likes angling, right? He likes angling.
Hello.
Yeah, he likes a lot of players, by the way. He likes everybody he sees.
He likes angling, and it is on that angling was brought in the team.
Yeah.
For CDM.
Or maybe Meran likes angling. Maybe he asked Meran for a CDM as if Meran says angling.
No. Kranky, when he says he asked Meran, I hold his foot to the fire for that.
Right.
I am not saying what he didn't say. What I heard him say in the press conference, he didn't say Meran told him about angling. He said
he watched him.
I watched him. So this is not on Meran. I don't have no time in the world for Meran Garden, but I'm not putting this on him.
Okay.
The reality of it is, Kranky, without people holding people responsible, they become lax, lethargic, fat, and useless. And if McClaren don't stop this rubbish, we are not going to work up 2026.
Right.
We're not going to make it. And the reason we're not going to make it is because the players with the quality to get us there are going to be overworked and tired and pick up injuries at the wrong time because you keep haggling them.
So, Pastor, you have 30 seconds, Pastor. You have 30 seconds.
I can stop now and listen to the rest of the program.
All right, Pastor. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You are welcome, sir.
All right, bless up. Hey, Henry, I have a question for you, Henry. When Amazon sell the book that Kyrie posted on their site, did Amazon get canceled, Henry? Or was it Kyrie that got canceled? I'm going to have you ponder that, Henry, because you come here sometimes, Henry, and you say these things, and I'm not sure what you're talking about. All right? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Henry. I'm not trying to absolve anything. So, hey, Rob, I am, by the way, New Wave. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. New Wave said, Meron is the coach. McClaren's a paid consultant. He's getting well paid, but the consultant getting more than the coach. Rob Smith says, cannot make things up. Anglin was not in the squad. His body man low was suspended. No, Rob Smith. No, Rob, he was in the squad, Rob Smith. If he called in later, he was in the squad. Just like Jamal Lowe was called in after Bailey pulled out. He was called into the squad. He was in the squad. He was available. So I'm not sure what you're saying, Rob Smith. You can't say he was in the squad when he was called in the squad and he was in training. The coach talked about him in training. Come on. Doesn't mean he was squad in the initial. There's a difference between the initial squad and the final squad. Chris says, Kranky, remember, if we don't get a quality players, we won't not qualify. Simple. Here's what people don't realize, which we guys seem to be missing sometime, actually, which is important because we sometimes think that, people like Kranky just come here to beat the coach. No, I'm calling out things that I see. I ain't going to be sitting there, be silent when I see something I think I should be brought to the public. You can judge whether or not Kranky's making any sense. You can judge whether they're just trying to start fire and start things without any credence to what he's saying. You're the judge. I'm making the statements. You go think about what I'm saying and then say, you know what? So if I said, where's the coach doing X, Y, Z? You should say, Kranky, who cares? He is in England doing whatever he's doing. He's doing JFF business. The JFF should answer that question. I don't think he is. No one I talk to say he is. And I've talked to people who are in certain situations. No, he ain't doing that when he leave Jamaica. So when you guys come here and say, oh, Kranky, you do this, and if somebody come in your program and say it's a lie, you can't absolve yourself, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to argue with you. That's your prerogative. But when some people are saying, see, there they go again, they're toxic YouTubers, and JFF will say this, I'm asking questions JFF. Have you answered any of those questions, JFF? JFF, those questions I'm asking, are you asking any of those questions? Do you have the audacity or the authority to ask Steve McClaren some of those questions? Or does he run the program? How is he helping the football in Jamaica? That's all we want to know. We have a quota system, which you should get rid of. You're not going to get rid of it. The way you get rid of quotas is if I'm competitive enough to pick players based on merit. Sports teams are picked based on merit, apart from LeBron's son. That's what I know most times. As he said, most times they picked on merit, because once in a while people interfere in it. They should be picked on merit. The reason why sports is an equalizer, the reason why the NBA at one point was 80% African Americans, it wasn't because they wanted integration in sports. It was because fans demand success, and those players who were black gave them that success. That's the reason why black quarterbacks dominate the NFL now when they couldn't get in the NFL at one point, because fans desire outcome. Owners want positive outcome. It builds their brand and generate money for them. Sports is an equalizer. Sports is not like some other industry where you can caveat it and camouflage it and hide things because you're out in the open. It's transparent. You go look at the France national team. I was watching a game the other day with Chelsea. Most of the players there are black. There's a reason for that, because they're the better players. Most of Europe isn't black. I don't think people are realizing this. It's about meritocracy. We shouldn't have a situation where a citizen is being disqualified for representing their national team because they weren't born in Jamaica. You gave them citizenship. I'm going to beat this thing to death 24/7. It's inappropriate. It's illegal. It's wrong. It shouldn't be allowed to occur. They're citizens. If you want to change the citizenship law, then change the damn law. Don't block people because, you know what, they're born in Jamaica. What we need to do is get the Jamaica program that's local to get up to speed, to get to where it needs to be, to become better. People at McClaren, their expertise, should be informing that program. He should be in Jamaica. Go look at the academies. What have we done at Man U that work well? What do we do here? Talk to speed. Go around the island. Understand the facilities. Try to build relationship with people in England. Talk to the media. What are you doing going back to England 24/7 as soon as we're done? You're not helping. You're just here to get the money and build your CV to go to World Cup. You're not here helping the program. You should not be the Jamaica coach if that's the case. I'm sorry. And I can't help you guys who thinks I'm negative. I cannot help you. This is how I feel. It's inappropriate, those actions. It should not be allowed. And if Rudolph Speed and Ricketts are the ones allowing this, that's nonsense. Nonsense. And you guys are putting up with slackness. It's like I was talking about in Jamaica the other day. The last politician got convicted was in the 1980s. But we know some of them are doing illegal things. That should not, we are allowing slackness and madness to occur in our society, which should not be the case. And I ain't gonna shut up. I know I have a program, I'm gonna talk about these things. And I'm gonna call out the coach till things change. And don't change, I'm gonna call out 24/7. And as I said before, this is my list today. When I call out certain things, they become viral. Because you know why they become viral, people? Because they have credence to them. They actually mean something. I don't come on here just come talk. You know how much time I spend doing this? I talked to a friend of mine today. I told him I can't talk to you. I'm doing this thing. I got to do some research. If I'm doing something, I'm doing more work than McClaren is doing. I'm doing more work than McClaren is doing. Much more work than McClaren is doing. I ain't doing nothing. Good night. Good evening. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Good night, Kranky.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Kranky. All right. So I'm the one who caused some ruckus in the whole footballing fraternity, at least locally on YouTube, where I went on Oral Tracy and I asked him the question about the quality of questions being asked.
Okay.
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's where that came from, where everybody's now bringing up Oral and Oral talking about YouTubers. Because you know I've been asking that question for a while, right? But anyway, go ahead. I called it out a while into, but I didn't call it Oral Tracy. But I appreciate you doing that. It's important, actually.
Yes, because Kranky, really and truly, as you pointed out on other person, because I listened to the press conferences a whole lot, and really and truly, the quality of questions are really, really poor. I don't think Oral understand what I was really asking or the direction I wanted the conversation to go. I wasn't talking about YouTubers from the perspective of the quality of questions they were asking, because I think it was last year when we had a press conference, there were some questions were asked and the quality of question was really poor. I was really taking aim at traditional media, because what I realized, Kranky, is this. Traditional media follows a general template, right? So they go to the press conferences, and when they go to the press conferences, they rarely ever ask any questions.
Wait, one second, Carla. It's not traditional media alone; it's the YouTubers too. Historically,
no, I do say no.
More recently, okay, go ahead. Okay,
I understand, but again, I target traditional media in particular because they're the ones with the supposedly superior level of training. So that was why I made the call, because you know the space, persons on here aren't all receive tertiary level education or training in media and communication like that. But for me, I'm looking at the traditional media, and the reason I'm looking at the traditional media is because I realize that they generally follow a template, which is they go to the press conferences. They don't ask any questions. They wait until the press conference is done, and then they try to get the coach by himself to give a so-called exclusive, and then they ask some very superficial questions. Who is playing domestically? Who's going to be included in the squad? Or they may see a particular player, a particular domestic player who they're trying to get the coach to talk about or whatever. And I'm thinking, really and truly, these are superficial questions. As you pointed out on your show, when Pochettino went for the interview, he had a dossier on all the players and the shortcomings of the players and how they can improve.
Yes. People, that's a great analogy and a great example of what you should be, why it's upsetting to hear this coach talking about the players when Pochettino, who is a big coach, a bigger coach, known coach than he is, that means he respects the US. And he wanted the job. That means McClaren was given the job.
Exactly. And I'm saying in the press conferences is pure superficial question being asked. No real question. And then what I think to Kranky, why I have a major problem with mainstream media. And the conversation and the narrative kind of spin in a different direction. But one of the things that I don't think I don't think traditional media are the persons who have a problem with the YouTubers are pointing out is the fact that in reality, they have not really been doing their jobs. They've really not. Because, for example, when the Reggae Boyz don't get the highlight that they should. Because, for example, you only hear about the Reggae Boyz and players who are playing for the Reggae Boyz when we have another match. So, for example, they don't know the players, and mind you, these are not necessarily new players coming in. Some of these players have been capped 5 to 10 to 12 times, but they don't follow them in their respective leagues. They don't know who they are. They don't provide any perspective on them at the end of the day. And the YouTubers are the ones who are providing information and letting us know who are the players who are coming in, who are the ones who are injured, and so on and so forth. But traditional media don't do that. And then even with the recent success in terms of getting persons to turn up at the stadium, I personally believe that the YouTubers, you may say that, you know, some of you guys have issues with one another, but regardless of that, I think you guys are a major reason why so many persons are interested in the football, and there's a certain level of rejuvenation in the whole thing. Otherwise, mainstream media is not giving them the highlight that I think they deserve. They're really not.
I agree with you, Carla. Definitely. Even though JFF would say only 200 down listen to it. Somebody told me, the CM 500 people listen to all the channels them, and we're unimportant. That's what they inferred. And therefore, they don't really care because we're toxic. That's what it is. Now, I'm not saying we don't give them a hard time, but it's a hard time that's well deserved.
Kranky, in the last World Cup qualifiers that we had with Dominica and so on and so forth, I think between the YouTubers, at least 600 tickets were given out. Free of cost.
Right.
600 tickets based on what I know several of you guys are doing and that kind of thing, and raise awareness to other persons. Tickets were constantly being given out and that kind of thing, raising awareness. Even the algorithm in YouTube is changing and that kind of thing. So even some of the articles that are written in the UK regarding potential recruits to Jamaica, to the Reggae Boyz, could potentially be as a result of the algorithm being changed with all the coverage that certain players are getting and so on and so forth.
Right.
So I honestly don't think traditional media is doing a good job of covering the Reggae Boyz, of covering the space. As a matter of fact, even the local league is not. I watch news regularly, and I don't see any updates taking place like on the major league and so on and so forth. If it's not the Premier League, the JPL, it doesn't get covered. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And they don't attend the games. So that was just my piece that I wanted to say. I don't think they're doing a good job, and I don't think they're giving the YouTubers their flowers in terms of what they are helping to. I mean, it may not be a formal space like what they're in, but right. I was listening to the radio just now, and the chairman of RJR, Joseph Matalan, the RJR group, Joseph Matalan, he's saying they're going more digital, which is pretty much what you guys are doing.
Yeah. But I mean, the traditional newspaper is dead, right? You got to go digital. The question is, how do you make money digital? Do you get the same advertising dollars? What are you going to get people to subscribe? How does that work? Because people don't want to pay for online subscription, right? A lot of times. So if newspaper have gone through a very difficult time, given their regular source of revenues have dried up in some way, shape, or form. It's always been about advertisement, but it also had physical sales of those newspapers. Now they're trying to get subscription. That makes it more difficult. So yeah, agree with you though, Carla. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, man, no problem. Respect, man.
All right, thanks. Let me say this, LB. LB, you have to go way back for this, LB. I'm not saying this hasn't happened, LB, but this is night and day. Because he's saying sports is not equal. Black quarterbacks are discriminated against from high school. Now, LB, things have changed materially. You got to go back to when Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Or when Warren Moon had to go to Canada to get to play football and then came back to play for Houston. Right? This is a whole different ballgame about quarterback. You go look at the NFL now. More than half of the quarterbacks in the NFL are blacks. You know, right? So it's Jackson from from Baltimore, Kansas City, Mahomes. You go through all it. Washington quarterback, the Bears' new quarterback, the quarterback at Pittsburgh. You go through most of the team, and they have quarterbacks. It wasn't like that before. 1 and 2 will be back up, and then the rest of them, you don't see them. They became running backs or wide receivers. They convert them when they leave school. It's night and day. So I'm not going to say high school quarterbacks are discriminated against. Sports is an equalizer in almost every country because fans want to win and they want to see a spectacle. And the players who are best get a chance to play most times. I would say 95% of the time. You go check. Even countries like England, which was prejudiced, change over time. You go to Europe, players playing for Denmark. Even Germany, where they're still discriminating black players playing. It's a different landscape because fans want outcome and positive outcome. And if I give them a chance to win, they don't care if they may be discriminatory themselves. They may not like my race, but I can play for them because they won't want to win. It's not disputable, LB. So I don't agree with you nowadays. It may still happen, but it's not like it was before. Pochettino paid 6 million. Oh, Lord. Stop, Amen. Stop. Amen. Stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense. When you hire a coach, it has nothing to do with they hired a job, they know what they're getting paid. Stop the nonsense. If that was the case, then Simeone's get paid $20-something million and what's his name get paid about 20. And Pochettino, your head coach is a different story. You don't like the money, then let somebody else come do it. But don't talk the nonsense about using the dollars as the criteria to determine your responsibilities. You're a national team coach, you have certain responsibilities. The dollars have nothing to do with it. Now, you may have better luxuries and better facilities because of who the country is and the resources, but your comparison is not logical. Give him the role of the job. It's not logical. He ain't getting paid to come here and get his $500,000. What was Halgrimson? What's the difference between him and Halgrimson? Was Halgrimson helping with some things that we're doing in Jamaica before he decided he got homesick and left? Didn't Tapper do all of these things? They were paying Tapper less than $100,000 a year. Okay, so let's take your analogy, Amen, Henry. Why should Tapper get paid, $60,000 a year if he got paid that much? And this person get 10 times what he's getting. What's he doing from what Tapper was doing? And Tapper was in Jamaica. Oh, Lord. Sometimes we're too smart for our own good. Anyway, people, it's 3 minutes left in the program. I have no problem with countering argument, but the analogy you're doing saying that, you know what? We're both president for the country, but the president of the United States should do more because the president in Africa are getting paid less. So Brogard was getting paid what? $60,000 a year? Legally? Even though he's supposed to go to like 180 and he decided not to take the money because he's already rich. And Trump, who make what, $400,000 a year? Trump should do more than what Brogard is doing in the role they play for their countries? Really? That logic escapes me. Seriously. That is not logical. Not logical. But anyway, people, I'm going to close the program then by saying this. First of all, I appreciate you being here. Amen. We don't have a fight, but we disagree on almost everything, frankly. Second of all, people, I'm not trying to beat the coach. I'm just spitting things that bothers me or things that I see that I think needs to be brought to the public attention. Some of you may think I'm being negative, derogatory, belittling the coach. But what you need to do is determine whether or not what I say make any sense at all. Is it logical?
Kranky.
Yes, sir. You're the last call of the evening.
Yeah, man.
How you doing?
Good program. Good. Good night to all of the viewers and listeners. I got a question.
Yes, sir. This is Kyle, by the way, people. This is Kyle. Yeah, go ahead,
right.
Kyle.
When did McClaren say that he's not looking for youth in England?
So no, he didn't say that. What he said was that players who were young players who were like under 24, they want to play for England, and that's the right thing for them to do. And he basically says
that's what he said.
Yes, that's what he basically said. We have it on tape. The good thing about these things, they're recorded. I have it here someplace recorded. Maybe what I do is I played every single session. That's what I should do, right? That's what he basically said. It's the right thing for them to do, which I got upset about, saying I could understand if he said, you know what, I can understand why they're doing it. He's saying that's what they should do, basically.
Yes.
And then he talks about the older player. We should recruit older player who are no. He said that, without a doubt.
Yeah. I agree with you with that, 100%. If that was said, because I didn't hear it, but I keep hearing you saying it.
Yeah, he said it.
it kind of irritates me. Like, did he say this?
Yeah, he said it. He said
No, if he did, he has to answer for that. Someone should really call him out on it. And let me tell you what. He basically told everybody that they should call him out. Because I was listening to
wait. Somebody said he was being honest.
All right, okay.
He was being conflicted. He's conflicted, but go ahead.
All right, yeah. So military, I believe it was military program. Basically, it said that someone asked McClaren, what's the difference between press conferences in Jamaica and the UK?
Right.
And his reply was, there's 100 mics in front of him.
Right.
Now, that's to tell you, the Jamaican public, that if you have 100 people asking you questions, that they're not asking you softball questions.
Yep.
They're asking you questions to tear you apart mentally. So people in Jamaica, okay, understand this. This is what we in the diaspora are used to when we watch interviews. So that crap that you have down there, it doesn't bother us. We need more of you to get active like Kranky and ask the telling questions, the pushing questions, to put the coach, the JFF, everybody, the sponsors on their toes. Because this is what we are used to in the diaspora. You know what I'm saying? Ask the man the tough questions. What do you mean by English youth who are young, they should look to play to England? Why not Jamaica? Ask them the question.
Yeah.
You know?
A question should be asked.
So, yes, it should be asked. You know, that's just one of the
Because I'll tell you something. I asked the question, and I did ask the question. Can I ask question remotely? And I was told no. Only people on the location can ask the question. I did make that inquiry, and I was told only people in the location can ask the question. So I couldn't ask the question. And I'm sure my question would be. I'm sure some people would not like my question, because one of my questions was going to be, can you explain to me? I understand. What is your role with the national team? What is it that your duties entail? And does it include A, B, and C? And if not, why not? Isn't that normal for someone in that capacity?
Considering the salary that he's...
I wouldn't mention the money. I wouldn't mention the money. I'm just saying the role that you play. And then when I asked the question, you said that...
I'm just giving the context.
Yeah, I'm going to say, you said that it's the players who are at a certain age, it's right for them to play for England. Why is it right for them not to play for somebody else if they want to do so? Why is it that they should play for England? Why shouldn't they play for where they want to play? Because I can see a lot of countries, France, for example. I see, what's his name? The kid from Man City was born in France playing for Spain. A bunch of French players playing for African countries. It's all over the place, right? This is not, in today's world, a globalized world, it's normal. So why is it that you're saying they have to play for England? Or it's right for them to play for England? Versus saying, you know what? It's their decision to make about who they want to play for. Did you misspeak? Did you misspoke, actually?
Right. I agree with you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, and the other issue, your headline, it says get off
Mason Greenwood.
Greenwood back.
Yeah. So go ahead. No,
I'm trying to find out exactly where that's coming from.
So there's a lot of communication nowadays in newspaper like The Sun. I saw it on Yahoo Sports, where it's saying that Greenwood has asked to speak to Tuchel, who is the new coach for England, about possibility of getting back into the England squad. I was told by reliable sources that is not true. He did not ask to speak to the coach. He intends to play for Jamaica. That's what I was told by reliable sources, that the people are making stuff up for one of two things. Either they're just being malicious, or two, they just don't want the player to play for anybody. So if they say this, then Jamaica may get perturbed and no one can play for Jamaica.
Oh, come on. Mason Greenwood is coming.
Well, we hope so, but also, look, he's trying to go through the paper process. It takes a while to get your paper sometime if things are not easy to do because of your situation. And we hope that it works itself out. And that's what I'm saying. Bobsy Grange and Brogard and the JFF and Pika should get together and work too, because we know he's Jamaican affiliated. We know he's Jamaican heritage, and work through the papers. Get it done. Expedite the process. Figure out a way to get if they need to get papers, help them get the papers they need to get. Go to the registrar and get money to get and get it done.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean that shouldn't be a that shouldn't be a problem considering what he brings to the team, number one. And number two, that shouldn't be a problem as to what he will bring to the stadium, because I'm pretty sure that people would come stadium just to see this guy play.
Yeah, he's a difference
what I'm
maker,
saying?
right? He's a difference maker, right? When you
Yeah.
have players he would never play for Jamaica unless he had the situation he was. Let's be honest.
Right.
He was that good, he would probably play for England, right? So we have a player who could be we talk about English reject. And the reject is about their capability. Now we have a player who have played for England, who could play for England, and we should bring him in. So now we can't talk about he's being an England reject in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
You can say it in another
This
sense.
is an England starter.
Exactly. He was going to be a starter. He's been told that he's going to be one of the best players in football, period, across the world. That's what Alice Ferguson says. So if a player with certain world-class ability, if we can get into the team, he can make a difference.
And let me just, make a point to people. It's kind of, it kind of segues in, but I keep telling people that Panama brought a player from out of jail to come to the national stadium to beat us 1-0. I believe that was in 2006. Right? So when people get up in them self-righteous mode, look at that. Okay? You have nations out there who are willing to basically take people from out of prison for come beat to it.
It's about sports, right? So sports is you make allowances for exceptional talent.
Exactly. So, I don't know, man. But Greenwood is coming, and I'm glad. And I'm glad to have him on board.
Well, I'm not going to say that until he comes on board. But when he comes on board, I'll welcome him because he'll be a difference maker. If he can stay healthy, he'll be a difference maker.
Right. Yeah. So, we touch everything. Thank you for the information because, I work odd hours. So, when I get a little glimpse and I hear something, I might be 1 week behind, but I'm listening, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate you listening, sir.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Keep
All
it
right,
up.
thanks. Bless up. All right. All right, people. That's our last call for the evening. I'm going to close out the program by saying, first of all, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. I don't take your attendance lightly. The ameners of the world, amen. Thanks for being here. We don't always agree. We agree to disagree a lot of times. Sometimes my logic may seem flawed to you, and I think sometimes yours seem flawed to me. But so we agree to disagree. Chris, Rob, Vibes, Drew Ross, Tycoon. When you start calling people's name, you get yourself in trouble, right? I can see Lads Debate. I get myself in trouble. Let me just keep getting myself in trouble. I'm gonna forget somebody. Brando, thanks everybody for being here. I should be back tomorrow. I may have a conflict, but I should be back tomorrow. I have no idea what my topics are. You know what? Sometimes I don't drop topics anymore because I drop my topic and other people take it and run with it. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna drop my topics and drop it in the afternoon. Because sometimes people take your stuff and they front run you, and then you gotta figure out you want to talk about the topics or not. These have been trending topics, right? The Greenwood one is trending, but I like to do them from a different angle. The coach one I wouldn't say is trending as it is. So I'm not trying to create drama and create views. It's mainly around things that bothers me, that bug me, that I think should be brought to the surface, should be more transparent, and I'm concerned about. And I'll say this to the JFF and the media person there. Allow us who are remote to ask questions. Can we write the questions in, for example, and somebody read, and Simon read it, for example? That's what I'm asking. I know, JFF, I know you'd like to beat me. You may not want these questions. But I think, Kranky wants to know, and his listeners wants to know. All right? Or maybe you can have, why am I going to say not going to Oral Tracy go ask the question? Oral, same, steering place to work as a YouTubers. Oral become elitist. Hey, Oral, I'm sorry to tell you, YouTubers now going to win an Oral. And some of them better than the regular journalists. If you come to the regular journalists, them Oral, because them not do nothing. They not focus on the topic that we focus on, and then not ask no question where nobody want to hear nothing about. See more YouTube question them ask. So, I'm better than the YouTuber them. We all nice in bucket. Kamala, okay, we don't want to talk Kamala, Jamaican vibes. She may lose. You better go find somewhere to live when him to lose. If you live in America, because you're black. You go find something. You look for alternative country if you go to. We can't go three of them. We can't go back to Jamaica. Probably go live where. You know what? I'll drive McClaren to England. We can't go to England go live. I have a citizenship. I live in England. Go on vacation in England. I have to work. Can't work. I got to consult and work half the time. All right, people. Let me just say this. Thanks for joining me. See you possibly tomorrow. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful evening. And Mr. Langsley Blake, if you're still in the chat, I do want to talk to you on my Balance View channel. People, go over to Balance Views and hit me so I can get to 1,000 subscribers. So I'm not on the channel now because I want to talk about more worldly matters, not sports on Balance View. So people, go over to Balance View, subscribe so I can get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can spend a lot more time doing investigative reporting on that channel because there's a lot to talk about. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I'm going to close it down now. And good night. Peace out. Kranky life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, till them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, feel them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my Kranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and debate and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Tell them, Kranky life. Heed them, Kranky life. Want them, Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky life. Me say fi heed them Kranky life. On them Kranky life. Kranky life will be around. Kranky life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them, Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them.